Oh, hello everybody. This is Steve at Winterbourne Workshop. Today on the lathe I've got a piece of tiger wood, and this is a birthday gift. It's my birthday today, from my son. Came in a box with a pack of 3 blanks, a bit of purple heart, a bit of a Roko, and this nice little bit of tiger wood. 6 inches across, or just over, 2 inches deep. So I think this is going to make a nice little dish. Looks as if it's been well prepared and dried. So he obviously got it from a reputable merchant. So next step is to get it onto this screw chuck. I've already drilled a hole in the centre, and we'll get to turning it. So we've established the foot. I just need to clean it up and then straight in with a 3/8 gouge here. Spindle gouge. So we just need to come around the corner a bit and tidy this up. Put the tool mark there. Using the gouge to shear straight. I think I'll just turn it in a bit more on the rim. Never turned Tiger Wood before, so I don't know how this is works. Also need to tidy up the base as well. Right, let's have a look at it now. Well, it's got rid of most of it, just a bit there where the grain is picked up. I've got a very small foot on this, probably only about 1.5 millimeters, I reckon. 2 millimeters maximum. Right, I think we'll start this at 180, see how that copes with it. That's highlighted, the higher grit is highlighted a little bit of end grain tear out here, which you probably can't see on camera. I'm guessing it's going to be the same the other side. So I think I'll go in at 180 using the drill, stationary. Quite nice, quite impressed with this grain. I think I'll go for a bit of fine sanding paste. Don't think I need to start with the slightly lower grit. I think we're almost there already, so this will do nicely. Shouldn't think we'll need too much. Right, using the same bit of cloth, we'll spin it up. One more go, we should have no residue. We haven't quite got there yet. That's looking good. I think we'll go with now is some Hampshire Sheen microcrystalline. I find this stuff works best if you just apply it sparingly and then leave it for 20 minutes and come back and wipe it off, buff it up, but don't buff it up on the lathe, not until it's totally dry. Buff it up before and then spin the lathe up, just to give it a very light buffing. Otherwise you end up with ridges, lines around your piece. This doesn't look so good. This generally takes about 20 minutes to dry, but with it being rather warm today, it may take a bit less. So we'll be back in 20 minutes or so. Right, so 20 minutes has elapsed. We'll give it a bit of a buff by hand, just to flatten it out. And then we'll spin the lathe up. Let's see what sort of a shine we get. Now, I'm not really one for shiny, but I think this piece of wood deserves shiny, so I'm actually quite pleased with that. Next thing to do is get it off the screw chuck onto a Vic Mark 3-in-1 and get the inside out. Right, well, let's get this mounted up on the 3-in-1. Now, yesterday I had a photographer round videoing for the Long Shed, which is a charity that I make bits for, and I asked him, referring back to my previous video, why I got flicker. I thought it was an LED failing, and he said no, it's nothing to do with that. No, nothing about photography myself. He said it's the frame rate. If the frame rate of your camera matches the frame rate of your LEDs, or the hertz rate of your LEDs, then that will cause flicker. So, having changed that now, there should be no flicker. So we want a depth first. And go in there with a 1/2 inch gauge. Teach me for opening the gauge up too much. I once you've got yourself a little wall, and you can then rotate the gauge anti-clockwise and back in clockwise as you get towards the middle. So I think I've got this wall about the right thickness. I need to go down quite a bit. Right, just change the camera angle slightly. I hope that you can see better. Now the camera's in the place that I might hit it with the handle, but we'll see how we get on. And they've gone down to a 3/8 gauge. I don't know the way that's chopping it off when I get to the middle. So just pulling the grain out. I better go a bit slower. Let's just check that with the calipers. Yeah, about 3/8. Just there. I can feel there's a bit of a lump there in any way. But you can almost polish this wood up using the bevel. It's quite nice. But let's just get rid of that little bit there. Quite tough wood though, so I think I'll just change gauges, make a fresh edge. I'm getting fairly thin in the base. You can hear the change in the tone. I think now's the time for a little bit of a scrape. Using a smaller scraper to get around that very tight bend. You can see I've got a little line just there I need to get rid of. Just a 1/2 inch scraper this one. Little tool mark just there, just the ridge, very slight. Yeah, so we'll go back to the bigger scraper. So we can gently get rid of that. Too much of a curve on it. Let's try this big baby. No, that's not going to get me in there either. So even that Simon Hope negative rate curve is just a bit too big, so I'm going for a bottom bowl scraper, and that's just getting around that curve nicely. Just about catching all the wood. Just a slight mark there, but I think I can get rid of that with sanding. So small. Right, now let's get some sanding done. Now it's not time to get a bit of polish on, it's time to get a bit of paste on. I use this Schlief paste, which is Holz and Hart's. There's a slightly coarser version of this, which I've got. I don't need the coarser version at the moment, I just need this fine stuff. Get this from Simon Hope Woodtown here in the UK. Well, he's only 40 minutes down the road from me, so handy in some ways, but not so handy in others. It's too easy to go and spend your money, although he's got an online shopping anyway. Get some of that in there. So there's a reasonable shine on that without actually putting any wax on, but I'm going to go for the microcrystalline again, so it seems to have worked quite well on the outside. Again, apply it sparingly. find it seems to work much better on these hardwoods than on softwoods, unless you put a sand and sealer on. But then I think with a cellulose sand and sealer, or any sort of sand and sealer, they're not food safe. They're toy safe, but not food safe. So I'll leave that for 20 minutes, buff it up by hand just to flatten it out, and then spin the lathe up. So here we are again, 20 minutes has passed. Polish is dry, so we just flatten it out. Same on the rim. Let's get it off and take a look at it. So, not sure what you can see there. It's got a decent sheen to it. Lovely grain in there. Same around the outside. Quite a shallow foot. I'm happy with my birthday present. Just a piece of Iroko and Purple Heart to go to make up the trio. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this little birthday turn, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.